What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream. How's everyone doing? Happy Sunday. Let's take a look at what we can expect for next week, and it's going to be a busy one. Like after a couple of weeks where we had not many news events, especially in the US, now we are back. We are back with plenty of news all across the world, the earnings as well, and basically the next 10 days, the next 2 weeks of trading are going to be quite active. What's up, Sorav? Welcome in. Welcome to the live stream. How's everything? How was your week? Did you go back to journaling, as you mentioned? Yeah, man, I'm good. I am good. The relaxed Sunday. Now I'm here. Still need to do a little bit of work after this, but yeah, ready for next week. Next week's going to be a busy one. I'm glad to know that you are back at journaling, man. Have you seen any progress because of it? Yeah, so if we do look at the news for next week, first of all, attention to the time shift, right? Because the time has already changed in Europe, in UK, where I'm living at this point. So, but not in the US. So the US Open actually is going to open 1 hour early, and the US news as well are going to be 1 hour early. So that's something that you need to be aware of, right? It's not going to be at 2:30 p.m. UK time. It's going to be at actually 1:30 p.m. UK time when the US Open starts or opens, and the news event, NFP and so on, is going to be actually at 12:30. So that's the first point that you need to pay attention to. The hour in the US is going to only change next weekend. Then in terms of news, we start again. It's going to be the beginning of November. It's going to be on Friday. It's going to be the 1st of November, which means that's going to be also NFP, and because of that, it's going to be a full week of labor data. We have job openings on Tuesday. Then we have ADP non-farm employment change on Wednesday. We are going to also have advanced GDP, so that's actually one of the most important GDP data that's coming out because it's the first one. All right, try to see how well did Q3 in the US spread out, which is important to see also what the Fed may do. Like depending on the data that you're going to have in GDP, the Fed also is going to be paying attention to see how quick or fast the rate cut is going to happen. And then you have what we have on Thursday. On Thursday, we have core PCE, so another inflation report, the one that actually the Fed looks at. And then we finish on Friday with NFP. So basically every single day next week, except tomorrow, there's going to be important news events in the US. In addition to that, we also have the big tech announcing their earnings this week. I believe we have Apple, we have who else do we have? Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and so on, Meta. So I think all of them are going to be announcing their earnings this week. So especially for anyone that is trading US indices, attention to that potential volatility, especially close to the end of the session, because usually this big tech announce their earnings at the end of the US session. So attention to that one. It's going to be interesting because again, S&P, Nasdaq and so on kind of is challenging a little bit the highs. It hasn't really managed to move to the downside. So we may have, who knows, we may have new all-time highs this week on Nasdaq or the opposite. Something to be aware of. In Japan, apparently today is the election, so there are some elections in Japan. So looks like that the house is losing their majority. I'm not really into the Japanese politics, but who knows what can come out from there. So attention to that one as well. Maybe some volatility on the NPRs. And you actually have BOJ, the Bank of Japan, announcing their interest rate, expecting to be the same on Thursday. So yeah. Oh, that's the news events. So before I start with the charts, let me just check your message, Sorav. Okay. So yes, you start to see some improvement after joining, but last week I was not disciplined and I over risk trying to improve my psychology. How did you fix psychology? Do you meditate? I do meditate. All right. Over risk is why are you over risking? Are you risking more than like, do you change your risk per trade, or do you always try to stay consistent with how much you are risking per position? That would be the first one. Question. Are you kind of just always constant with the same risk, 1%, 0.5%, whatever it may be? Is it always the same, or you try to change it? If you try to change it, why are you trying to change it? It's based on, you already categorize your setups. Yeah, you risk 0.5%. Okay. So why did you over risk? Is it over risk, meaning you just start opening, so you just increase the risk of each position, or you actually start over trading? Was it over risk or it was over trading? So increase your risk size. I don't know what moving stop loss is. Is moving supposed to be break even? All right, so yeah, okay. So at least you recognize mistakes. In terms of fix psychology, like how to fix psychology, that's $1 million question, right? Yes, I do meditate. I think one of the most important things to, first of all, I do believe that many times we may think that is psychology the issue, but it may not actually be psychology the issue. So that's the first point. Okay, I think maybe even in regards to your strategy, to something that you can actually do that could help you to deal with whatever. Like if you are over risking, you have an idea of how to fix it, and it may not be psychology. Like you just need to implement maybe some rules in place and stop over risking or doing that. Right. So it's more about discipline, that maybe just psychology part of it. But one part that I think it's important to start to deal with in terms of psychology in trading and almost in everything is the power of start to be self-aware, right? And be present in the moment and start to recognize how you are feeling in all those moments, which means that you need to start writing down some notes, have a journal close to you, and when you start feeling a certain type of emotions, try to recognize that you are feeling them. And then the more used you are to do that, all right, then you can start going into the next steps, which is start actually to anticipate when you're about to feel that, right? And then you can start reverse engineering, try to understand. Again, it's the quicker you get to self-awareness and to understand that you are feeling that emotion, that you're about to make that certain mistake, the better, the better it's going to be for you, because now you are aware of it, right? And once you are aware of it, and actually you manage to bring kind of getting to an emotional stable situation, that's going to help you. And the simple exercise is literally that: is just start writing down how you are feeling in certain moments, and maybe don't try to go over it or try to discover the root cause of the event in that specific moment, but write it down. And then yes, maybe at the end of the day, or at least over the weekend, whatever, just try to kind of journal even your own thoughts, kind of go back and try to understand. And in that moment, yes, try to go deep into why are you feeling that, and don't just get satisfied with the first answer after your first why, right? Try to, after you kind of come up with the reason why you are feeling that, ask again why, and then ask again why, and keep asking why until you may get actually to the root cause of the situation. In addition to that, you can start maybe reading some books about that. There is one actually that's quite good. I haven't finished this one. I don't know why, but I should have finished it. Where is it? The Mountain Is You, I think. Even if I can show it in here, but yeah, The Mountain Is You is quite book. It's a quite interesting book about self-sabotage. So that's a good one if you want to read it. And let me just bring this one. Yeah, the mountain is here. Yeah, this is the book. Yeah, so if you want to read that one, that's a nice one. But of course, there are many others. But yeah, but one of my first advice is try to be as present. Try to be as present as possible. Like, it's the power of being self-aware. Because without self-awareness, there is no point. Like, you are not going to be able to fix anything else. Like, and as soon as you start to become self-aware of how you behave in certain situations, that's going to help you to, even you're going to start being creative and finding solutions to your own problems. So that will be a little bit of the first problem. And yes, meditation can be one of those habits that can help you to become self-aware. For example, like when I read books, I also feel I kind of feel present. Like, start doing some stuff that helps you to feel present in the moment, and not always navigating into the future or kind of just distracted with social media or whatever it may be. Right? And it depends. It varies from person to person as well, how you are on whatever tricks you. And like, for example, just personally, again, I'm a person that is always thinking about the future. Like, my brain is always kind of navigating towards the future. Some people may spend a lot of time thinking about the past. Some other people manage to be a bit more present. I don't. It's something that I've been working on, to be a bit more present in situations, because my brain naturally just start thinking about more of the future ideas, maybe what can do, or like, I don't know, how can I improve, and so on and so forth. But then sometimes I miss out being in the present. And this is not just regarding to trading, like, it's in general. Yeah, self-awareness will be the first one. All right. Good. Now, the market. Like, we have been looking for this potential retrace on the dollar. That was something that we've been waiting. Price just continued to move to the upside until finally, if not mistaken, on Thursday, it finally made that move to the downside. Like, and this was the first level that you're looking for, basically, for price to fill this range. Price went there quite nicely, like literally fill the range that you're looking for, and now move to the upside on Friday. Now, this was a good level where price ended up reacting and moving to the downside. It kind of skipped a few others, but this may not be the last one. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if eventually the dollar would actually continue to move a bit more to the upside, and it may be getting a little bit closer to, I don't know, some of the structure in there, or at least maybe to take this high. I wouldn't mind to see that. I think we are going to have a little bit more of a zone 3 type of a move. Eventually, price can continue to move a little bit more to the upside. But at the same time, we could actually even have a little bit of a deeper retracement. Now, we didn't really manage to break this low. I would have become a bit more bearish if we did manage to break this low in here, but we didn't do that. All right, we didn't do that, so we may actually continue to go eventually a little bit more to the upside. We can try to see in here at the highs if there's anything in there that is relevant, and I still see that level. To be honest, I still see this zone in here that price could react. And price could have a little bit of a move to the downside. May have this level, but I don't really like this one. I'll prefer just to see price getting a little bit closer to the extreme. But at this point, I will definitely need to see some kind of PI towards there that would actually give me any reason for price to sell from this level. Otherwise, I could see just price maybe react from next level, and eventually moves to the upside, since we didn't really manage to break below this level in here. Yeah, that was a little bit of a zone. Price actually respected quite nicely, start to create some kind of PI at around this level, and eventually moved. Basically, that moved, turn and go. It was actually a nice PI to look for this reversal. But yes, now basically for the last 2-3 weeks, we almost didn't have any big news in the US. It's quite odd. It's not that often that we see kind of a week like, or 2 weeks like that. But this week's going to be quite busy. So we may have actually a lot of volatility playing on in here. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. I'm still okay potentially looking for sales as price gets closer to this level, may get into this type of a compression move. We do have now this structure, and this level here looks nice as well for price eventually to even go below these lows and react from here and go to the upside. And then you may have that one as well. And if price by chance, yeah, if it starts breaking these lows again, you may actually go all the way, getting closer to this level. I wouldn't be surprised if you actually do that. And then it's about looking in here as price is moving or potentially continues to move to the upside. Where are the next fresh levels that you can aim for? Like maybe price actually wants to go and fill out all of this range. Maybe that's actually the destination that we're going to be looking for in here on this dollar index. Who knows? The reality is that on Thursday, we did manage to break below this daily candle. It was one of the first daily candles in here, especially in October, that we managed to kind of be an engulfing candle. Was below the previous daily candle, and I don't really care about that, to be honest. But many people may look at this candle in here and start thinking about shorts at the highs in here. So that's something that can happen as well. Yeah, if price just goes above that level, may have something in here, and then you start looking for price to get a little bit closer to them, right? And that's, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, so at this point I will need to see more PI. Okay, I'll need to see more PI. I was looking for that move to the downside, at least to have some retracement. That happened in the last 2 days, last week, and price basically filled the target. So yeah, I'll need more PI to decide what to do next. For which pairs do you use the XM? So dollar index, I use it, of course. Euro dollar is the one that is most correlated with. But then we can use it as well to see if there's going to be dollar strength or dollar weakness. And the way you can use that information is try to see if the market is super correlated. Like if by any chance it's going to be a dollar weak type of a move, and this week that you're going to have maybe because of all the news that you're going to have in the US, and that's usually the case that can basically all the other major dollar pairs are going to follow what the dollar is doing. And then you can start looking for those trades across the other dollar pairs. Otherwise, if you see that maybe, for example, these last couple of weeks, the dollar hasn't really been the dominant, then maybe you can, I don't know, use a little bit more the euro dollar in regards to dollar index, but you can expect some divergence in between the other dollar pairs. I'm talking about Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, dollar CAD, even dollar yen, pound dollar, and so on, right? So, and then you can decide, like, if you think that maybe Aussie dollar is perhaps at a better level to look for a potential long or whatever it may be, maybe you can take that trade, expecting also maybe a dollar strength in that moment, or dollar CAD if you are looking for whatever. Like, let's try to, if we're actually just looking at the charts, price action, break a level or not, I'm going to be looking more of euro dollar in regards to dollar index in terms of which inverse correlation. I want to see the levels being respected and broken, but then you can use the information in terms of strength or weakness on the dollar if you're expecting more of a range. And that you can use for the other dollar pairs as well. That's a little bit more of what I'm doing. Yeah, like dollar CAD doesn't really, you are correct. Like dollar CAD, if I'll bring dollar CAD chart and try to see the correlation with dollar index, it may look like that doesn't really play out. But you can try to anticipate to see if there's going to be, again, it's try to get the sense in the market to see if there's going to be if the dollar index is going to be the dominant on that specific moment or week. And you can see quite easily just by seeing if the dollar index is moving up and everything else is moving down, like euro dollar, pound dollar, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, and so on, you can start noticing that's because of the dollar, right? Most likely dollar CAD is going to be moving to the upside as well. So you can still use that information for those other pairs in there. Like another situation is like if you are looking literally for a dollar CAD as a big like if you're looking for a big short on dollar CAD, dollar index kind of need to be in a situation also at least look for sales. Like otherwise you're not going to have that much momentum on that move on the dollar CAD, for example. You may have an initial move, but then most likely it's going to be just a small move, and then price may reverse again. Yeah, that would be my take in that. Because in reality, actually, dollar index has been moving quite aggressive to the upside in here. But if you actually in October, even if you look at dollar CAD has been moving to the upside as well. Like in October, basically, It's basically the same move. Right? It doesn't look like it's curvated, but you can see which way that from the 1st of October, right? It's been moving just to the upside. It's quite similar, to be honest. In here, like that's what we would like to see as well. Yeah, so the very next we'll see. I'm still okay with potential shorts at these highs, at least some reaction from here. But I'm still missing a proper break of a low to actually look for a bigger move to downside in here. Now, the US indices, right? So we have been looking for this. We looked at this kind of reversal potential price action that you can see on the S&P with this ranging market. Usually when we start noticing ranging market, especially we start breaking some lows, we had those lows being broken, we had new lows being broken, you had another big move to downside, breaking this structure here. We start seeing some selling signs in here, right? And that's something that you need to be aware of, because that can lead into a bigger move to downside. At the same time, of course, you want to see if there is anything at the highs that price can still respect in order to look for potential sales in there. If everything has been taken, then there is a high probability that eventually price can create new all-time highs. But we did have, like I had this marking here and even have that one at the highs in there, which means that there was still levels in there that you could still look for shorts. The price actually reacted from that level quite nicely on Friday after the US Open. So we'll see. In my opinion, this is an move to downside. All right, so this one here actually broke to the downside. So that's something that I am aware of, which means that S&P could actually continue to move to downside from here. Actually can bring this arrow, and the tone is already gone. All right, so that's something that I could continue to see. That's something that we talked about last Thursday or Wednesday. I don't know when you do the pre-market analysis. So yeah, I could continue to see a little bit more of a move to downside. Is there anything in here that price could hold? Maybe there's something in there that price could hold to the upside. Basically, price already reacted from it, and then you have that one in there. But at this point, I'm actually bought a bit more bearish in here than anything else. What do you think of this touch trading, like 20, whatever, 30R? I think you know I'm talking. Again. You can try to do that if you want. I tried and I didn't really see much success on that, because first of all, I don't really like to touch trade like that, because I felt that my winning rate was quite low, and that will force to lose many trades. And I hate when price will just completely break my level without even reacting from it. And another reason for that is because, and that's why I actually prefer to see price. I like to look at the approach, and actually I like to see how price reacts from the level before I even take the trade. Again, the reason for that is because even if this is a nice supply level in here, and by any chance this could mean, if that's a level that I could see price doing something like that, the reality is that the way I see it, this level is actually this level is good, and I'm expecting to see orders in there, but this is only a good level to look for shorts, depending on actually where price is coming from. All right, so imagine that the target is in here, and this will stop in there, which means that there's still this gap in here to look for. All right, so price just paused in there, and there is still this gap. Okay, this space that price wants to fill, and you had price whatever creating some structure in here, good, perfect, and then kind of in here, like, and now it retests that level. This will increase the likelihood that I could look for a trade in here, and actually this level in here, this supply, let's call it like that, would actually still work as a sell opportunity. All right, and yeah, that could be great. Maybe we can push in there, whatever. Maybe we can get a 10R from this level. That's a different story. It would be if this level, for example, had already reacted from it. All right, it reached a target, and now price is moving to that level. And this level is still fresh, and now we are still thinking as well. Again, it's a good level, it's still a fresh level, but now price may not actually react from it, and especially most likely is not going to do a move like that, because the space already filled, which means that maybe this is now a lot of buy orders went or kind of are now being activated in here, and there is no need anymore for price to even go down again, which means that this level of supply can actually now work, but as a level of demand, something like that. Okay, let's improve that. Okay, it can actually work like this. So the level that it still looks good, it still looks perfect, it's still fresh, but instead of working as a sell, now it's going to work as a long. Now, I do see that there are maybe some clues as well that you can get when price is approaching that zone to decide if I should be actually be looking for a short or a long in there. Like if I start seeing some weakness, if I do see liquidity close to that level that price can still react from, and even if it reacts from it, it may not even create out those 10R. Right? So even now it's constantly looking for 20R or 10R, whatever it may be, that's maybe even too much. I don't think you need 10R trades to be successful, to be consistent. Quite the opposite. If you're actually looking for consistency, I think aiming always for 10R or 20R or 30R trades, I think that's values. And I don't really think that anyone that is trading with a bigger size, a bigger account size, is going to be risking that much constantly to have such a low winning rate just to try to aim for one bigger trade. I'm not going to do that if that's a big size account. That will be my take on that. But yeah, I'll be paying attention. Yeah. Like I'm totally okay with my around 50% winning rate. I'm totally okay with it, but I do want to see some confirmation there. And then even if you just aim like for an average of, I don't know, 3, 4, whatever, even if it's 5, it's already perfect. Like risk reward, that's way more than enough to be consistent. Yeah, again, and if price by any chance just touches in reverses, kind of in a V shape, and if I miss a trade, I miss a trade. It happened many times, it's going to continue to happen, and it is what it is. There's plenty of trades and that can fit my own trading. Yeah, even in the euro dollar, like the short, the long that I kind of missed on Thursday, it looks like V-shape with the news. Yeah, I was not aggressive enough to take that trade, unfortunately. But if you actually, again, we're going to analyze it in a bit. But that one already at least had the PI to look for the long, because we actually managed to break the highs before that. It's okay. So S&P, we can have a continuation more to downside. Price may actually go all the way. Maybe this can be one of the next levels, or maybe some structuring here. One of the situations that can start happening as well is that if you start getting way too many highs around this structure, eventually you can have one last high potentially for price to turn. So that's something to bear in mind. So we'll see. Again, plenty of earnings. Important earnings this week. Basically, the big tech is going to announce this week, so be aware of that. Aside from GDPs and NFP data and labor market data that you're going to have in the US this week, and also PC. So yeah, plenty of news. Nasdaq did manage to break slightly these highs in there, so we're looking a bit more for a move to downside. Price, I think it reacted maybe from that level. Yeah, it basically reacted from this zone in here. Can actually look at it. I was looking a bit more for the extreme, but price just decided to respect that. After breaking these lows, we're looking for shorts. Price react from there. Now move to the upside, fake out the highs, and we still have this level. So it still respected that one in there, and I could still see price even faking out this one in here, potentially then reacting into this structure. But it starts becoming way too close to the all-time highs, which means that eventually can even break new highs as well. And this is where it's starting to look into the bigger picture. Oh, where am I? Like, we didn't really manage to break any structure in here. Like, basically this low actually respected this level in here, which means that price, as a natural situation, like if you're just thinking normal market structure without even a break of a low, there's maybe a high probability that price can actually end up creating a new high. While if you did manage to break below this level, maybe price could end up respecting that high and moving to the downside. Like this is just literally normal market structure in here. Right, so again, not breaking this level to the downside, it may gives more relevance that we may have actually a new high being created before a potential move to the downside. So that's something to bear in mind. In here, looking even around this level, price still has this structure here to break. So again, if price starts breaking below that level, then okay, that maybe those highs are actually ready to hold, and price could make all that move to the downside. But so far, it looks like there's still quite a lot of strength in here on the Nasdaq, and we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. First and foremost, we have this structure now in here, and then we'll see what's going to happen after that in here. So that's going to be interesting. Again, I still like a level somewhere around that level in there, and then in here, that's basically the two extremes that I'll be looking for at this point. Dow filled the range as well, so basically you're looking for that reversal. Price played out really nice after breaking this low, had all this price to fill, and eventually came all the way down and it's filling this price. Actually, Dow looks like it's a bit more bearish than the other US indices. You'll see basically price now reacting from this demand zone. Basically, it filled the target that initially we were looking for after price starting to move to the downside. It filled the spice, so everything is okay. We did already manage to break below that low. Okay, so this was actually already a break of these lows in here, which eventually could even open the door for price to go slightly lower. And then it can continue because this low is already breaking those lows as well, which means that price can actually start eventually going even lower until we get to a level where eventually can turn. But we can expect always some reactions from these fresh levels. And then we'll see. We did manage to break also above this high in here, which starts opening space to go there. And you can just continue like that, looking for spaces that are open and levels that price can eventually fill. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what price is going to do around this level. It's basically the last low that created this move to the upside. So again, if you do start managing to break below this structure, it starts opening door to go way further down in there. DAX, same thing. So we do have this low breaking that structure, which means that we continue to look for more sells in here. It reacted perfectly from that level, then it reacted perfectly from this level, and then it reacted perfectly from that level. Basically, every single small level in here that you're looking for, price has reacted from, and all of a sudden we are within this mid-range level in here. But we do manage, we do have that low being broken. We do have still some levels in there that price could eventually react from. Eventually, when price decides to finally break above this small structure, it can be just a small fake out into the next level and then push downside. And definitely I would prefer to see that happening already with a break below this level, because if price starts respecting everything in here and start moving to the upside, we may actually have a new high before anything else. And you do have a lot of structure in here that price can also fake out. So yeah, new lows would be nice to see, and you could even again close this up there. Yeah, so that's a little bit on DAX. We'll see what's going to happen around this level, and eventually you can aim for the bigger picture range that we have, which is this one in here, right? But there's still some structure that needs to be broken before that. Yeah, so it's all about spaces. So do you try to find those spaces as well? Does it make sense a little bit what I'm saying? Bitcoin, same thing. Basically reacted from that level, perfect. Came all the way down, respected the next fresh level that was in here. Price already broke that low, it filled the spice, and now it went all the way there to basically react from this structure. I may even have missed that level, to be honest. We'll see. Created a double top in there, came all the way down just to respect this level, start ranging at around this level in here. We may have another zone in there that price can react as well. So we'll see. We'll see what Bitcoin wants to do at around this level. Breaking below this level definitely opens door for price to go way further down, but price is holding it, and then we'll see. If price does manage to break above this level, this is one of the last zones that I can see it. Otherwise, price will eventually go and aim for new all-time highs. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's actually the catalyst that's moving crypto at this point. Is it because of the US election? We'll see, right? Again, we are getting closer and closer also to the US election, basically in less than 10 days. So yeah, Ethereum finally fill out the range as well. So that was the initial level, and then price basically went all the way to fill the rest of the spice in here. Keep respecting the structure as well. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how price may react from here, and if it wants to challenge the lows one more time before moving to the upside or not, or eventually can even break the lows and then just continue to the next level. So yeah, interesting enough in here. Solana, not really following Solana at this point. Looking at the individual not individual, into this currency indexes, and we are looking at euro index, which keeps respecting this low in here. Yeah, we saw that. And we mentioned also that price, after breaking this level, there's a high probability that price will just fill this space. Just literally, that's what happened. Like when we saw a little bit of strength on the euro pairs, we saw a little bit of euro pound, euro Aussie, euro yen. Let's make euro yen not that much. And we also saw on the euro dollar moving to the upside until, there you go, it reacted from this level. And then we start showing some weakness on the euro pairs. Like again, just you can use also the information from dollar index, try to combine with dollar index, euro index, and maybe you can start having an idea where the euro dollar is going to go next. Even though this euro index is not just related to the euro dollar, it's actually kind of, there's a lot of weight the other euro pairs, not just euro dollar. So yeah, that's a nice one. We'll see if price is going now to retest this trend line, perhaps something in here and push to the upside, or if it's going to challenge the walls a little bit more. And I'm still looking eventually for price to get closer to that level in there. And then you have the yen index, which is also something that we are looking for. Again, I've been waiting eventually to see if the yen index gets closer to this level and fakes out the zone and reacts from around this zone. I think that we could see some buy pressure at around that level. We'll see if that's going to happen or not. Kind of have a nice quasi model in there. It's a nice structure. Price came all the way, basically respecting now this previous supply level in there. So we'll see. Like at this point, we don't really have any break to the upside. So prices keep respecting. Anytime it retraces, just keep respecting the previous high, which again doesn't really make it bullish like that. So yeah, we do need a high being broken to start perhaps shifting the momentum in here. Otherwise, price will just continue to move to the downside. All right, now that was a nice move. Now nice compression as well. That's more for intraday type of a moves. We'll see if these elections in Japan is going to have any impact on the index. Maybe it will. Who knows? We'll see. And then of course we have BOJ, but yeah, we're going to be talking about that one during the pre-market analysis before it happens. All right, now looking at the individual currency pairs. It's working. Perfect. Euro dollar. Euro dollar managed to break the high. All right, so that was the trade that I mentioned that I was not aggressive enough to trade it. It was on Thursday. I think I've talked about it already during the manufacturing service PMI in France and German. This was a nice move. Price had broken that high, so we had the engulf to the upside. You have a beautiful fresh level in here, and price just reacts and goes. Right, and after that, yes, after that we mentioned that this looks like can be a good level for price to start having some retracement, and you're looking for price to target two levels, either somewhere in there or somewhere in here. Price did manage to break above that level and then it reversed, but this for me is an engulf to the upside. Yeah, it looks like to me as an engulf to the upside, even though you didn't manage to respect straight away that level. Sorry, so but this is definitely a level to start thinking about potential longs. It doesn't mean that price is going to just respect this low. Price can actually eventually take this low and get a little bit lower, but this is already a sign that potential euro dollar can be closer to a turn. And definitely there's maybe some levels around this level in here that we could expect eventually the euro dollar to go towards to before making that bigger move. But that's something to bear in mind. Yes, I do see that one as a potential engulf to the upside in there. So we'll see what the euro dollar is going to do at around this level, if that's going to be a move upwards or not, or if price by any chance is going to challenge these lows and then move higher after that. And you have definitely new structure to look for. So that will be interesting. That will definitely be interesting. The beginning of a new cycle in here as well. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Okay. Yeah, let's compress. Let it came all the way down in here. Let's actually take this low. Yeah, let it go down a little bit more. So that's on the euro dollar. Could be there. I could go slightly lower. It makes sense to go there. Maybe. Okay, it's too far away still. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see on the euro dollar what we can have in here. Yeah, I do like that price actually managed to break that high. Pound dollar, it initially didn't really move as strong as the euro dollar, but it did manage to find a way to break this structure as well, even though it's just respected from the next one. So we'll see in here on the pound dollar if price is going to respect something below that level. Again, in this level in here, looks like that maybe there's something that you can aim for. Even though I would love to see actually this pound dollar moving a little bit more to the downside before making a move upwards. So that's something that we can try to look for. But for now, I think price could have some reaction around this level in here. So that's something that I want to pay attention to. And it did manage to break this initial high in there, even though basically that level is still fresh in here. So that's basically where price reacted, but it's a high that is being broken. So that's nice to see. Again, pound dollar also has been quite bearish throughout the month of October. So we'll see what kind of movement now we're going to have. In regards to the UK, I forgot to mention we are going to have autumn budget. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be the first one with this government, and expecting increase in taxes and so on. So there's a big gap in there of, I don't know, 22 billion, something like that, that they need to find revenue to close that big hole. So we'll see, right? We'll see what's going to happen. That's going to be on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So expect volatility in the pound pairs on that particular day. Let's see if the market is going to be happy or not with the announcements that that government is going to do in terms of in terms of the budget for next year. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind in here as well. Euro pound. Yeah, this is one that I'm still in the trades, so I kept it open for the weekend. Yeah, unfortunately, price actually ended up respecting the high in there. It was literally one of the best fresh levels in here. And yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, price respects this level and moves upwards. A little bit of wishful thinking in here, because price is respecting this level quite nicely, to be honest. And there's perhaps more room to the downside in here. So price can easily still move a little bit lower, but this is a kind of an interesting level. So yeah, I kept it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen in here. If we're going to have another ranging week on the euro pound, or if there's going to be some kind of momentum. Again, there's not that many news in the eurozone this week, and I think CPI in German, but yes, mostly dollar. So which means that most likely pound and the euro are going to be moving in the same direction, which can create a lot of ranging market in here on the euro pound. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen in there. Aussie continue to move to the downside. I'm happy with it, to be honest. We did manage to break that low, so maybe we could have that continuation. And I would like to see getting a little bit closer, maybe something in here, or even just below that low, and then maybe finding something to push long. Maybe that level can be interesting, just below that low that we have in here. There's kind of this low. It looks like that maybe price missed that level. That could be a good level to potentially look for a long after price takes basically that low in there. No, not that one. Yeah, that one. Yeah, we'll see. Actually extend this one in here. Yeah, maybe could have. Price did manage to break slightly these highs in there, even though of course the next structure it was still fresh. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Eventually we're going to have also moving here on the Aussie dollar to the upside, and that will be something that I'll be looking for. as well. I think that's going to be quite an interesting opportunity. Wedge's price continue to make new lows. Wedge price continue to show some more weakness before we look for that long. Yeah, I'll definitely be paying attention to this Aussie dollar next week. New Zealand, almost the same thing. So apparently price end up not really respecting that zone, respect a little bit, but kept respecting the highs. So we continue to move to the downside, and you'll see now price may react from the next structure in here below that level. So that eventually could be again a zone where you could see a little bit of retracement to the upside. Again, as you can see with the dollar index moving so strongly to the upwards, we have everything else moving to the downside. So whenever dollar index may be closer to that level, maybe we can have a little bit of a move in here on New Zealand as well. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. On the opposite direction, we have Euro Aussie moving to the upside. Again, this was something that we also mentioned before. This was a break to the upside in here, and then when price created this double bottom, that looks like that price was ready to start moving upwards, and this level in here, which was already respected in there, it looks like quick in the future, which means that price now just naturally moved to the upside. Nice reaction, and now we are looking for price to get a little bit closer into the next level before we start looking for potential shorts. And be careful, of course, with this reaction or potential retest of this support resistance in here, which could lead to a continuation to the upside in there. So that's something to bear in mind. In here, again, it can go in alignment as well eventually. When you have the move to the upside on the Aussie dollar, maybe you can have this move to downside on the Euro Aussie. And yes, that definitely is a zone to potentially look for in here. All right, then Aussie yen, right, which just continues to moved a little bit when the yen index also moved to the upside. These yen pairs moved to downside. Price is respecting literally the fresh target in here. We'll see. Again, interesting that price broke that level, but it just respected this supply level, so it's not exactly an engulf to the upside. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here, if this level holds or if it's going to be this high holding. We are still bullish in here, but price is actually reacting from a good level on the left side in there, which could push a bit more to the downside, to be honest. Again, the compression is quite strong at this point. Maybe this is one of the last zones that actually is still fresh. Below this low, everything is being almost taken. That is fresh in there. Taken. Like, yeah, all of a sudden price can actually move quite aggressively to the downside. Aussie yen. So let's see if that's going to play out or not. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see which direction this one wants to go next. The yen pairs. Like, again, continuation with the dollar yen, which can continue to move a little bit more to the upside. Eventually could go there. So I'm going to be a little bit more bullish in here, even though we did manage to break a little bit below that level, but just to respect the next previous level of support resistance. So yeah, is this an engulf to the downside? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Price actually had that zone in there. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of space that price can still fill if it wants to at these lows. Before moving to the upside, if it starts breaking even deeper into this level, then you start aiming for a bigger move on the dollar yen. Now we do have maybe that high that price eventually can react from, or just continuation to the upside and eventually start targeting that high in there. Now we are moving in a compression way, so that's interesting. So we'll see. Let it go closer to that level, and then you'll see what's going to happen. Euro yen, similar to the dollar yen as well. Again, they are reacting from this level a bit in the middle. We can have that other extreme a little bit higher. Price did manage to break kind of this structure here, but just reacted from the next previous level support resistance as well. So we'll see. Price already reacting a little bit from here. Yeah, somewhat of indecision at this point in here on the euro yen. So yes, we managed to break below that level, but respect to that zone in here. This level is still fresh. Eventually price could go there, perhaps before moving to the upside. The same way that there is definitely more room to the upside from here. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe we're actually going to open with a gap. Who knows? Pound yen moving to the upside a little bit as well, so getting a little bit closer to here. So basically, euro yen, dollar yen, and so on, they are still reacting from around this structure, but pound yen is already getting closer to that zone in there. Like Aussie yen is also reacting already from that zone in there. So as you can see, euro yen and pound yen and dollar yen still has a little bit of a room to move towards until it gets to this level. Pound yen, actually, I do like this level in here, so we could even go all the way towards that level before I move to the downside. So that's something that we need to just keep an eye on. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if price keeps respecting that level and pushes lower, or yeah, or if this actually is enough and price eventually is going to move to the upside afterwards. Yeah, dollar CAD just continues to move to the upside. All right, so we had that initial move down, something that we looked for already 2 weeks ago, and then price just continues to go higher. There's no break of a low. Actually, this was the first one, which is interesting. Before that, we didn't really had any, and price is getting closer and closer to this highs in there. And basically, again, dollar CAD has been within this range since summer 2022. So we'll see. We'll see if the dollar CAD is ready finally to potentially go higher, or if it's going to just react from something around this structure and maybe even that high before moving to the downside. Yeah, I think it's worth to keep an eye on it, keep tracking this dollar CAD eventually for a short, as price is getting closer and closer to this level in here. So that's something to bear in mind in there. Euro CAD. Okay, Euro CAD moved to the upside, so we kept respecting these lows. Okay, interesting. All right, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen next. Did manage to break above that high, so maybe we can even have a continuation to the upside. Yeah, it's just kind of in the middle now, so I'm not really sure what we're expecting here. Again, bigger picture, we did manage to break kind of below that level. I still like even that level once again. Can even expect price eventually to even go here, just figuring out these highs as well. And yeah, from here we'll see. Yep, we'll see. The pound CAD also making that move to the upside, kind of respecting that that low. This was already kind of an engulf upwards, at least that's the way we are looking at it. And then price end up respecting that level. Now looking for this pound CAD continue, maybe getting a little bit more closer to this structure in here. So we'll see. We'll see also what type of PI you're going to create when you get there. Nice reaction from this level, basically broken that level, kind of reaction from here. And yeah, maybe from here can still be some buys as price eventually going to continue to move higher. Dollar franc Swiss is another one that I'm looking for price eventually to look for a short. So I'm still waiting for price to get a little bit closer to this level, or eventually even above that high. So yep, it's just in the range at this point. It's stuck within this level, and yeah, just keeping an eye on it to see if there's going to be that opportunity. And then gold and silver. Gold respecting that initial level and then that zone as well. So we'll see. We'll see. There's of course the possibility of new highs, and most likely that's what's going to happen. Even though we did manage to break below that level, then price already reached one of the targets that we're looking for any shorts, and respected quite perfectly. Okay, it respected the origin of this move, which makes it a bit more bullish than anything else, which means that we can actually challenge these highs and create new all-time highs and just continue to move until eventually we can have actually turn, which now this becomes one of the targets that we're going to be looking for in here, until eventually every single demand is going to be basically taken, and then price will just be able to break through completely everything in here and perhaps going towards that level in there. Yeah, so we'll see what's going to happen in here with gold. Silver, second. Yeah, silver got closer to this previous level support resistance in here. I was looking for it to go maybe a little bit closer, but actually price reacted from the structure. And there you go. This was already an move to the upside. This is actually an example of what I wanted to mention before. What looks like a nice supply level to sell it. Look at how price actually ends up reacting from it as a long in here. Right? That looks like, at least on this 15 minutes time frame, 30 minutes maybe a good level to look for a short in there. Maybe kind of a nice KM zone. But now price actually may have reacted from something interesting at where the sellers are no longer interested, buyers in pricing here, and actually works then as the opposite. Like, that's actually a good example. So we'll see. We'll see how price eventually may react from there. Yeah, but silver correcting a little bit. Oil is another one where we are going to be continue looking for a potential long, especially if price would get a bit closer to the walls. Like again, this is a nice reaction. This one never really closed this gap. Now price reacted from it, and then it can literally move to the upside. Price literally broke this structure here. I could still see price going slightly higher in there. And yes, preferably I'm still waiting for eventually for oil to get closer to this structure in there before moving to the upside, or even somewhere in here. So I wanted to see it a bit cheaper before looking for that bigger trade. Hopefully that's going to happen. Price may actually react from here and push lower. Now that I actually managed to break that, like, and all of a sudden this is where the confusion appears in a little bit in here, like which kind of left shoulder should be trading here. I should trade this one to the upside, should trade this one to the downside, like which one is actually working in here. Yeah, so we'll see if we have some selling pressure from this level, or price actually wants to start moving to the upside, eventually getting closer to here. Yeah, again, if price becomes a bit weaker, then I'm going to be jumping into there. Again, same thing in here on Brent, with eventually price getting a little bit closer to that level. Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it for this week. Yeah, so I'm expecting plenty of volatility, opposite what we had in the last 2 weeks on the dollar. I think we're going to have plenty of moves to the upside or to the downside. We start having that break to the upside on the euro dollar. At the same time, I could still see a little bit more of... Wait, what have I done? At the same time, I could still see a little bit more of weakness on the euro until getting closer to this level before a turn. And that could happen as well on the dollar. A bit more of a move to the upside before a move lower. Pound as well, I could still see a little bit more of a move to the downside before actually a bigger turn. And that can also happen on the Aussie, perhaps on New Zealand as well, and so on. So that's something to bear in mind. You're going to have plenty of news, labor market and so on, NFPs on Friday, GDP on Wednesday, and then in UK we're going to have the government announcing their budget for next year. Dollar CAD is approaching the highs. That's something that I'm going to be tracking as well, potentially for a short, depending on the PI. The NPRs, we're going to have also Bank of Japan announcing their next interest rate. It's expected to be the same. We have elections today, so it's going to be another one quite interesting. I'm continuing to be looking for potential shorts as price continues to go slightly higher. The US indices, we have plenty of earnings being announced this week, the big ones. Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, and so on, Metas and Googles and whatever. So yeah, expect more volatility. Is Nasdaq going to break new all-time highs? That's something to keep an eye on. S&P and so on, they're starting to show a little bit more weakness, so that's something to bear in mind. So yeah, try to stay focused on a daily basis and reset for the next day, regardless if you had a good day or a bad day. That's something that is important. Reset, come up the next day fresh, either if you had your best day or your worst day the day before, because there's going to be plenty of opportunities. No need to feel that you missed out on something, because focus on the next trade. That will be my advice for this week. With that being said, guys, thank you, Sarav. Great questions, man. Keep doing the work that you are doing. You're doing great. Let me know if I can help with anything else as well. Anyone else, guys? Thank you very much for tuning in. Feel free to subscribe if you are new. can help me try to get to those first 700. I'm so close to 700, so you could help with that, and then eventually 1000, which is the goal as well. Thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.